Hi, my name is Michelle Valdez and I am an avid flower gardener. I have taken the Colorado State University Master Gardener training and I'm also an employee of North River Garden Center. Today we are going to be exploring the art of Mary gardening or Marian gardening. We will go through a PowerPoint presentation and then look at some of the plants that you can use to build your own Mary garden. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy. For today, we are doing this presentation outside, and my videographer is at least 6 feet away with a mask due to the COVID virus. We are encouraging our patrons to remain safe and to observe the safer at home recommendations. Thank you. We're going to begin the PowerPoint presentation on Mary's Garden, Mary's Flowers, Legends, Folklore, and Contemplation. Marian flower legends really help to honor Mary and celebrate her life and her mystery. In the medieval times, each of the flowers had many popular names, and these could change depending on what locality you actually traveled to. Many of those flowers were based on religious legends. With the invention of print and the printing press, one name would be chosen for the first garden book, and then conventional names were chosen. Then botanical names were derived from Latin, which helped to classify the plants scientifically. As field study by botanists engaged in research began to take place, they began to link the Marian names with botanical names, so local village people would know what they were talking about as they sought to find colonies of plants. Folklorists also recorded religious plant names, often with the local legends from which the names were derived, and this today we know as journaling. Marian religious flower names and their legends were circulated through the countryside by wandering pilgrims, preachers, monks, wandering minstrels, and then other travelers. These were handed down by oral tradition. Some of the flowers' names are mentioned in biblical record. Today and in times before, flowers are used as symbols to enhance our spiritual lives. Early Christians kept the memories of Mary alive through legends. They saw her attributes in flowers and herbs that grew around them and then named them after her. In a Marian garden, these plants are cared for and lived with devotionally, which means we look at each flower and tend and nurture the garden in order to tend and nurture our relationship with God, sitting at the foot of Mary, his mother. This we call contemplation. One of the interesting facts that I came across when I was doing my studies on Mary gardens was Mary and the color blue. In paintings, Mary is traditionally portrayed in blue. This tradition can be traced back to the Byzantine Empire from about 500 AD, where blue was the color of an empress. A more practical explanation for the use of the color is that in medieval and Renaissance Europe, the blue pigment was derived from a rock called lapis lazuli, a stone imported from Afghanistan, which was of greater value than gold. Then, beyond a painter's retainer fee, patrons were expected to purchase any gold or lapis lazuli to be used in the painting. Hence, it was an expression of devotion and glorification to swathe the Virgin in gowns of blue. The first Marian garden is recorded establishment is recorded in 1932 in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Frances Crane Lilly, a lady from Chicago, established the garden after returning from her travels and learning of the devotion in English monastery gardens. In 1951, Ed Mittag and John Stokes established Mary's Gardens, a nonprofit organization to revive the medieval practice of cultivating gardens of herbs and flowers with Marian names. This information is now collected at the University of Dayton, Ohio International Marian Research Institute. If you go to their website and you click on the search button, which is up here, it will take you to a search guide, and you can put Mary Gardens, and it will take you to a listing of different information through his studies and promotions of Marian Gardens, which are accessible to the general public. So let's talk about starting your own Marian garden. First thing you want to do is to choose your location. Is it sunny? Is it shade? Is it partial sun and partial shade? Sunny means at least 6 hours of bright sun per day. Morning sun is the best, especially for roses. Shade means less than 4 hours of sun daily. Partial sun or partial shade means less than 6 hours of sun daily. Then prepare your soil. Is your soil rocky, clay, loam? If you don't know, water your area and the next day go out and dig a shovelful. What does it feel like? It should break apart. If it doesn't, amend your soil. Add organic matter, peat moss, coconut shavings, compost. Then choose your focal point. Is it going to be a statue, a natural element, a stump, a limb, a tree, a shrub, maybe a water feature? Then think about this as a resting place. Do you want a chair, a bench, maybe a rock to sit on? If you don't have a good area in your yard, you can always start with a tabletop or a container. Start small and build it around that. You can also do Marian Gardens with indoor plants. Most important is to keep it manageable in size and in budget. Next, choosing your plants. For our area, we are a zone 4. Some areas are 5s. In this climate, zone 2, 3, or 4s are the most reliable. Then look at your location. What kind of sun does this plant like? Does it like sunny, shade, partial sun, or shade? And then look at its water preference. Is it dry, moist, well-drained, wet? Then put plants that like the same environment together so that they're not competing with each other. Then mulch to maintain the moisture and reduce the weeds. One way that you know what a plant likes is to look at the tag that comes with the plant. This tag is for proven winner Supertunia. In the front, it will tell you the name of the plant, the habitat it likes full sun. Then if you go to the back of the tag, it will tell you its watering likes. Some tags tell you what other plants they like to be planted together, and fertilizing recommendations. Another good resource is the Colorado State University Yard and Garden website. This website is specific to Colorado. It has 10 to 15 minute tutorials. It actually has a whole section on high mountain gardening with perennials for areas above 7,500 feet. So let's look at some pictures of some Marian gardens. Here you can see 3 small gardens, one that is actually in a fountain and very manageable in size. The other one uses a tree as its focal point. Here are gardens that are tabletop or in pots and can be moved around. This little garden is in a corner. It doesn't have very many plants, but it has plants that bring out color and contrast. On the Dayton, Ohio website, there is actually this list of flowers based on their height and their Marian name that you can look at for an idea of different combinations of flower plantings.